Look at Ethan. He doesn't have any shoes on. I love it. Freaking hilarious. He's got the best color suit, too. Ethan and I first met in 5th grade. We played basketball and soccer together on the same teams. We were around each other. I'm just going to have to read it like it is. We were around each other a lot, and friendship developed. We played together at AAU, summer ball, and trained together all through high school. Got to spend even more time with Hunter in high school because we both played on the tennis and golf teams as well. Since Ethan and I did the same activities, we carpooled with each other. We were always blasting any type of music and, of course, singing along. Ethan was one of those guys who you just never got tired of being around. Always super energetic and in a positive mood. When everything shut down due to COVID, I would go over to the Chapins to lift weights with Ethan and Hunter. After we worked out, we would end up playing video games together for a good portion of the night. I am a pretty shy person by nature, and Ethan included me without me having to ask. He truly was one of my best friends in high school. I don't know if I can pick one specific favorite memory because it was always a party when hanging out with Ethan. One thing that sticks out the most is being with him in the shed behind their house that they made into a mini weight room. It was a combination of our favorite things to do: lift and listen to music. It was always so energetic and joyful in the weight room. Ethan made it a perfect escape from the anxiety that COVID brought about. One word I would give to describe Ethan would be inspiring. The way he lived life to the fullest is something I try to emulate. That's funny. Look at the guy standing on his tiptoes, and Ethan standing on his tiptoes to be taller. That's hilarious. Ethan embodied warmth, which I believe everyone already knows. But his warmth was made through the genuine love he had for everyone and everything. I can confidently say that Ethan taught me the version of love that I know and connect to today. Growing up, I always knew that the way my immediate family expressed their love was slightly different than how I wanted to show mine. But it wasn't until I was with all of my cousins that I knew what that slight difference was. My dad, mom, and sister show their love through quality time and acts of service, but not in extremely overt ways, which is totally okay. But when I was with Ethan, he would run up to me, give me the biggest hug, and announce his love. And Ethan would do that for everything. If he loved a song, he would play it loudly and sing it at the top of his lungs. And if he loved a food, he would eat it every day. The way he viewed life was refreshing. I remember sitting in the back seat of his Jeep, just watching him soak up the world, and I swear the world felt the same way about him. I felt like the air would quiet down every time Ethan would speak. And the trees would dance when Ethan would. Ethan and the world were one and the same. He had a type of love that made the world grow and shrink at the same time. His openness completely changed the way I approach people and things. I owe Ethan so much. But whenever I look at the trees or hear the wind slow, I think of his smile and how he would open his arms when he saw me. I love you, E. There are many funny memories of Ethan waking me up in the middle of the night with a margarita after getting drunk with my dad, or only eating chicken fingers after getting food poisoning. Still, one of the earliest ones was at Grandpa's funeral. I was overwhelmed and confused, and I remember Ethan coming up to me, giving me a big hug, saying he would be with me the whole time. One word Tess would use to describe Ethan is warmth. It was really beautiful. Thanks, Tess. Sarah Dunn. Ethan knew me as Ms. Dunn. I was his music teacher at Conway School from kindergarten all the way through 4th grade until I moved away. For about 5 years, Ethan, his classmates, and I got to sing songs and tell stories and play dance games and put on shows together. As I recall, he earned all of his belts on recorder karate. Every year, he'd come back a bit taller and wiser, but other than that, he was the same person all the way through. Even in kindergarten, he was a cool cat, not intimidating or proud, but just confident and kind. He knew how to have fun, and he was aware enough of the people around him to know where to rein it in. It was a joy to be his teacher and watch him lead in his very chill, very confident way. He wasn't loud, but he had a natural way of drawing people out and making them feel safe. He smiled with his whole face. I really enjoyed the times in music class when we played the freeze game, in which I would put on a song and everyone would dance until I pushed the pause button and they'd all freeze into statues. Ethan wasn't a center of attention guy, but if he liked the song and the mood struck, he could really cut a rug. Ms. Dunn sums up Ethan in one word: joy. Sweet. Holly Gildas. Holly, best known as Miss Holly, worked with students on the autism spectrum during Ethan's years at Conway School. Due to Ethan's inclusivity and natural capabilities to work and play with kids who were neurodivergent, the children supported by Miss Holly were often placed in the same class as Ethan year after year. In the week In the week's Smile Spotlight, Miss Holly shares how Ethan's kindness and compassion were evident from the very beginning. I used to work with students on the autism spectrum at Conway School. This put me in Ethan's class through his time at the school. Day 1 of kindergarten, Ethan was very interested in one of the students who had autism. He asked questions like, how come he doesn't talk? Can I be his friend? After chats about his new friend, Ethan asked if they could hold hands and go to recess together. I asked Ethan's mom if he could help teach the student how to play games and do other types of social activities. Then the countdown was on. Ethan would come in each morning and tell me how many sleeps until he got to work with his student. Ethan was a natural ABA therapist. We didn't need to give him the instructions. We didn't need to give him the instructions. We were all ready to provide him. He just knew what to do. Ethan changed lives with his exuberance, carrying heart, sweet kindness in kindergarten and beyond. Oh. Sorry, I feel like meat evolving today. It's a cute picture. So funny. Look at goofy Ethan in the back. It's hilarious. He definitely had some awkward moments. That's a cool picture. That's a super cool picture. Man, I got stuffy now. Alec Cruz. Ethan was like a big brother to me. I met him through family friends while on vacation, and we instantly became close. Even though I was one of the youngest in the group, he treated me the same, helped me feel like part of the group, and always brought a light-hearted presence. He gave me some of the best memories I have. My favorite memory, Ethan, was when we went to Disneyland together. We would go on the rides, taking off our shirts and act crazy. Everyone would look at us like we were crazy, and we didn't care because we were having a good time and enjoying ourselves. If Alec had to describe Ethan in one word, it would be sociable. Yeah, now I'm all stuffed up. I better go blow my nose. Evelyn Ellison. Ethan and I met when we were 17. He quickly became my dear friend of mine, and we fell for each other soon after. We danced through young adulthood and enjoyed a meaningful relationship through COVID. When we turned 18, Ethan joined my family on a trip to Newport Beach, California for spring break. We spent the week exploring, shopping, and Ethan's favorite activity, relaxing on the beach. I remember this trip fondly because Ethan and I got to play pretend adults. We navigated through airports as a team and made actual dinner reservations within walking distance. Each evening was accompanied by a sunset stroll, thorough conversation, and the song Dancing in the Moonlight by King Harvest. By the third night, I recognized the first melody floating out of the spare bathroom, just as it had the evenings previous around this time. When I peeked my head around the door to investigate, I was struck by a vision that will never leave me. Ethan Chapin spinning in circles, passionately delivering a performance which can only be described as awe-inspiring, all while brushing his teeth. Upon seeing me enter his one-man show, he failed to disguise his delight at an audience. An infamous Ethan grin spread across his face as he invented new dance moves with the music and kept time with his toothbrush. Seeing no other option, I picked up my toothbrush and tried to look as cool as he did. Ethan often made me feel as though I was living in a rom-com. Moments like this reminded me that it was because of his unadulterated positivity. I admired Ethan most because of his ability to create happiness. He can make anyone smile at him before they even realize they were looking. He was grateful for every opportunity to laugh, genuine enough to share his joy, and he was damn good at making people dance. After Dancing in the Moonlight drifted and he had taken his bows, I had to ask him why. His response was genuine and sweet. I don't know, because it was fun. Because it's fun. One word I use to describe Ethan is authentic. Ethan was so authentically himself that everyone felt comfortable being true to themselves around him. Wow. That was really great. Kyle Fry, here we go. Okay, I gotta pause for a second and gather myself.